Hello. Hope everyone can hear me. This is just going to be a. Let me sort this webcam out. Hang on, there we go. Oh look, my hair is a mess as well. That's not good. Yeah, so Fridays are just going to be chatting about mental health and what I've been going through this week more than anything. Hello, Wev. Thanks for joining. And Johnster. Thank you. And thank you for the subscription, Johnster. Really appreciated. Thank you. So I've been suffering this week quite a lot with imposter syndrome. And I do get bouts of it every now and again, but it's a case of it always becomes something that holds me back from what I want to be a success. So a little bit of history with how it's affected me in the past. Right back through to my college days, where I never believed I was as good as anyone else who was there, that I shouldn't have been at college doing it. Maybe I should have been doing something else. Hi Cody, yeah, of course, please feel free to say something. Whilst we wait, yeah, just again, a bit of the background history is, yeah, at college I never felt I deserved to be there. Okay, okay. I have depression because I have acne. I get very depressed because I think I'm very handsome and it makes me less handsome. Yeah, it is. It is a tough thing, Cody. It's an odd one for you because it's good that you feel that you look good, and that having acne is something that sort of makes you feel. We'll allow that. There we go. Yeah, yeah. It can destroy your self confidence. With Baharuka's right there. It's it's horrid. It is horrid. How old are you, Cody? Are you young, or are you sort of like with us middle aged types? Because if you are still young, I suffered with acne. It does get better. It does get better, and it shouldn't need to define you. Yeah. Okay, you're 20, so I mean, I still had acne issues when I was into my mid 20s, and I'm an ugly bastard. Um, so I had that as well, but don't let it define you. Um, I don't want this to sound condescending, so I do apologise if this does come across as condescending. But when I was at college, um, I wasn't the sort that would be a hit with the ladies or anything like that, or anything. So I had many issues, like mentally, with my own self confidence. But I knew other people who did have the confidence. They weren't traditionally handsome. They had spots and things like that, and they was a lot more successful. And I know that everything should be decided by how good you are with dating or attracting the opposite sex or the same sex or anything like that. That should never be the case. But he was a lot more confident in himself. and always had more success than I did. So don't, honestly, please do not let that sort of thing define you. I get it. I get why it can sort of depress you. But as Wev has pointed out there, Lawrence Fishburne is someone who's still got scarring from acne, and he's made a huge success of himself. It shouldn't be something that needs to define you. Because I weigh back I miles weigh 220 pounds, and at 15 and lost 80, and now I'm 20 and weigh 160 pounds. I don't have a six pack, and some of my teeth are yellow from eating yellow foods like blueberries and tomatoes. So yeah, don't worry about that. I was, what was I, 16, 17, possibly even 18 stone, something like that, when I was 18, I think. I was fat. And trust me, I didn't lose it for anything other than I got ill. I got diabetes, and then I went from that to about 6 stone. I just became from fat to gaunt. Listen, 6 packs, abs, if it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Let me tell you now, one of the things that still gets on my nerves when it comes to body image is that women are often told it's not how you look, it's how you are, and don't be shamed for how you look, and that's all very right. But at the same time, men still have to have this certain body type. We still feel we've got to have 6 packs, we've got to look like Brad Pitt or whoever. There we go, perfect. We don't need to look like them. They are body shapes that they have lots of resources behind them that help them look like that. You do not need to look like that. If your idol's Brad Pitt, let me suggest another idol to you from the field of acting, and that's Steve Buscemi. Look at someone like Steve Buscemi and look at that as your idol. You shouldn't need an idol, but look at that as more of an idol. Someone who's not traditionally Hollywood good looking, yet has still carved out a hell of a career and is a hell of an actor. Look to people like that. Honestly, don't focus on your body. It's hypocritical of me because I do. I do not like how I look at all. I had, yeah. Well, there you go. Look at someone like that. Look at someone like that. It's not an easy fix. It's not an easy fix to say someone that don't judge yourself for how you look, because if it was, then mental health would be an easy thing to fix. I'm not going to sit here and turn around and go, oh, we're all beautiful in our own way. I don't go with stuff like that. But you start taking that road, start believing in yourself a bit more. I don't believe anyone's ugly. The only thing that makes people ugly is how they act. And if you're a good person, then physical attributes matter less and less and less. So honestly, please do not let them worry. I did miss an earlier message, sorry, from Cosmospec. It was like, hello, I have a mental health problem, 2 years now, like you. We will be better. I'm in a difficult period of stopping Kimbalta from 1 year taking it. It's very, very difficult time for me, but I'm sure that I'm going to be better. I have a very bad traumatic period when I was a kid, and now I had difficult times to find a good job. We are strong, and we are going to pass this. So yeah, that is good to know that you've got a strong will there. It really is. It's good to see that you do have that strong will. And yeah, childhood trauma is a horrible one. I've spoke about it before. The bullying I had and how that's affected me. What happened when my granddad died and how I was mocked for my granddad's death, and people use it as another stick to beat me with. And it sounds like you're a very, very strong person, and that's really good. If anyone does need to reach out away from the stream and they want more in-depth ways to talk, we do have the Discord channel, and if you bear with me, I will get everyone a link to it. Come join our Discord there. You can do that. Cosmospec, your idol has to be you. Yeah, no, it has. You have to sort of judge yourself by yourself and no one else. But I have many idols in different fields, and they are a good thing to have, but you can't judge yourself completely by them. Cody, by any chance do you think Brad Pitt had those things I mentioned? It's hard, again, it's another thing that's hard to say. Whether he had the specific things that you're mentioning with regards to his physique, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But he will have gone through things. Whether it's physical, whether it's mental, who knows? Here's the thing. Brad Pitt isn't perfect. No human is perfect. He may be traditionally attractive, but it doesn't mean everyone finds him attractive. That he's not the idol that he needs to be held up to be. I learnt a long time ago. I say a long time ago. It wasn't actually. It was only a couple of years ago. That if people don't like you for how you look, it's not your problem, it's theirs, and someone will, and that's what matters. It's honestly, it's a tough subject to tackle with regards to how someone looks, because it's very hard to sort of say to someone, hey, you look good, you be you, without sounding either condescending or then being hypocritical, because I have those issues. It took me a long time to want to do things like this and speak on camera, because I was scared people would judge me. So it all has those things. But it does lead into what my main chat was going to be today, which is imposter syndrome. And I got to a point where I was talking about being at college and not feeling like I deserved to be there because I wasn't as good, and not knowing what else I wanted to do. Well, I did actually. I really wanted to do forensic science, but it was so far away from graphic design that I felt I couldn't make the change. I chose graphic design because I felt I was semi good at it. And then when I went to college, I looked at other people's works and tried to compare mine, and just could never, ever, ever measure up. And that led me through everything then. Sort of as I went into other work, I would do it, but I'd always be telling myself, it's not good enough, it's not good enough. Why are you doing this? Someone's going to question you at some point, right? Someone's going to question you, and they're going to ask why you're bothering doing this. And that's something I've had to put up with for years. Every job I had, actually, I felt that I'm not good enough. It would often come as well. It's really weird. The trigger would be, for example, I decided to start teaching myself web design. And then clients I had assumed that because I could design a website, that I could do the programming behind it. And I was too scared to say, no, you need to get someone else to do this. Because if I said, oh, I can do the stuff that makes it look pretty, but you need someone else to do the stuff that's behind it, that they would turn around and go, well, we'll get someone else that can. And again, it was the imposter syndrome of I'm a fraud. They're going to find out I'm a fraud. I'm not good enough for what I'm doing. So I lied. I tried to blag it a bit so I could then learn and try to get better. But what it always did, I never got exceptional at one thing. I became half decent at a lot of things, which I think is a skill within itself. Let me know what you think in the chat with regards to that. Is that a skill, being half decent at lots of things, or should you just be exceptional at one thing? So there is that. But now I started mental health gaming. The reason I've done that little bit of background is to come round to the mental health gaming side. I started it just short of a year ago, with the idea of normalising the talk around mental health, that it's easy to make it easier to talk about mental health without being judged, without people wanting to shy away from it, and then using video games as the central point. Because something, you know, a lot of us have in common, and we can use that as a way to talk about other things or find a community that we can share. And I'm at the point now where imposter syndrome's setting in. Who am I to be discussing mental health? I'm not an authority on it. I'm also not the best games player, so why am I able to talk about video games or give my opinion on video games? I'm not a great writer, that we know as well. So, you know, what again? Why, if someone's going to call me out on that at some point? I'm not exactly great at presentation, as we can see here. I'm stumbling over word, goes all around there all the time, and I lose track of myself. So again, I feel like I'm not good at any of those things. Yeah, you've got ahead of me there, Wev. Got ahead of me there. I will come back. I'll come back to that, because that's where I'm going to get to with it, and one of my techniques for combating it. But yeah, I look at things, and I promised myself I wouldn't do this, but I do this. I was never going to look at the numbers on YouTube videos, on streams. I would look at those numbers, and they started going up, and then they've hit a bit of they've just like kind of leveled off at a very low number. And I look at it and just go, well, does that mean that people are realising I'm a fraud? Am I not, you know, are they realising that I'm actually crap? But as you guys say, and again, I hope you're not doing it just to blow smoke up my arse. That I enjoy doing it, and this has been great for me mentally, because even though I'm looking at numbers and things like that when I shouldn't be, and I do have imposter syndrome, it's not breaking me. In years gone by, it would have broken me. And Johnster, yeah, no, it's I like watching your streams, actually. I do. You've got a good personality as well. And I know when I've had you on previous podcasts and stuff, it's been great having you on. And I don't know what my presentation style is. And again, this is another thing I look at and go, is this a young person's game now? A lot of the streamers seem to be early 20s, mid 20s at most. Is there an actual space for a middle-aged person to get into this space and be a success with it? And does it become pointless? Am I just cheating myself? And all these doubts do surface. But it's what's been really great about it for me is the community that I've built up around it. I put a tweet out earlier today, just one of those Follow Friday things. This is how about a pop culture. I don't even know if that's still a working hashtag, but I've done one of those Follow Friday things. Tagged a few people, not everyone, who's important to me, but just a few, and there will be more next week and stuff like that. So it's been sort of like great for me, absolutely sort of great to do that and let people know that how important they've been, and seeing people sort of like achieve great things. Do check out both the Rebecca's, Awesome Fox and Sad Shadow. Their streams are really, really, really good. They have got quite a personality, and I hope they have all the success because they both deserve it. Cosmos Spec, it was a big problem for me, this too. I was trying to be the best in a good job as a graphic designer on a typograph shop, and someday the boss kicked me out of the job just 3 days later because he found someone that worked on this job 10 years before. I was so devastated. Then I found again a job I didn't like. It's the worst thing anyone is making, and I'm sure there's a lot of people doing this. It's so bad. Yeah, it is. That's what you get. I had one where someone, I was started to do some work, I agreed to do some work, and then he brought someone else in who could do the bits I couldn't do better. I basically decided that, well, that was me getting ready to be pushed out the door. And then I started behaving like I was being ready to be pushed out the door. I gave them excuses to be pushed out the door. And that's the toughest thing, I think, with imposter syndrome, is that you start to believe that you're being found out. That they're going to discover that you're not as good as what you are and that someone else is better. So you start making excuses or doing things that give them an excuse to do it. And it's your fault in the end. But it's not at the same time, because, again, mental health is an absolute bitch and it doesn't care who you are or who it hurts. So graphic design is the worst as well. Cosmos Spec, I'm sure you've got experiences in graphic design, but it is almost one of the worst jobs in terms of getting paid, and getting people to actually understand what your role in it is. You could be great at typography and layout, and not very good at the art side of it, but people expect you to be able to do all of it. And so many people now want you to do a job of a team on your own in graphic design, which is I think it never helped. I don't think I've met many graphic designers that don't have that self-doubt. And that is both something that can help you get better, but it's soul destroying. It's one of the reasons I've quit graphic design and moving into mental health, because graphic design killed me. It really has killed me, and I can't. One of the reasons I've got so low at so many points as well. And again, I've spoken about that. So you guys, I'm going to throw it open to you while I take a couple of sips of coffee. Imposter syndrome. Any examples of you guys suffering from it, and what you've done to try and overcome it, or not, as the case may be, because it's not always easy to overcome. And whilst we wait, one of the things that happened to me today, actually, and it terrified me, but I'm glad I've done it. I missed a call on my mobile, called back, and it was a guy from one of the PR companies. And it's been years since I've spoke to someone directly on the phone from a PR company, and it threw me because I didn't know how to act. I forgot how to act with another human being, because it was like, oh God, these are the guys who will provide me with codes for games. And I was like, how do I speak to them? Because if I speak to them in the wrong way, are they going to go, oh my God, this guy doesn't sound like someone who should be in the industry, and we'll make sure he doesn't get games in the future and stuff like that. I've always held people who own the codes, who distribute the codes, they are the key masters in a way. And it was like, I was like, oh, I've got off the phone, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? This guy probably won't want to speak to me again. And it was just ridiculous notions, I think. So Steve, I don't really get it anymore. I know what my limits, shortcomings, and flaws are. Plus, I don't really do anything to be an imposter at. With similar to you, and we've discussed this elsewhere before, I don't feel any good with my writing, and so I rarely promote it outside of letting WordPress auto post to Twitter. You can do that, okay. Auto post to Twitter for me. There's an element of not feeling I'm any good, and also not wanting to burden people with having to read it. Also, talking to people on the phone sucks. So I'm going to come back to that, Steve. Talking to people on the phone, I will come back to that. And one of the jobs I enjoyed the most, but also hated. But yeah, the biggest problem for so this is Cosmos Spec again. The biggest problem for me is that I'm trying to overpass my dad's suicide when I was 15. I am now 31. Ouch. Okay. So yeah. So I never had a dad in my life, so I can't quote directly from that. But again, something from childhood, it does affect you as you get older. It always has me. I can't, you know, I still can't get over some of the things from my childhood. And it terrifies me, and I'm trying to make sure like my son doesn't have to go through that. All I can do is I feel for you, Cosmospec. It's one of the reasons I'm glad I've never managed to follow through with my suicide attempts, or I've failed my suicide attempts, because I hate to think what that would do to my kids. But it's only now I realise, you know, the damage it could do, and I feel for you so much. I really, really do. So let's go with web. Yeah, so I've worked. This is going back to sort of Web's thing with not really wanting to promote his stuff. I worked with a couple of companies over the past few years. One that produced a protective plastic guard for an ice hockey stick, so you could do stick handling. Hello, Edith. So you could do stick handling on the ground where there's no ice. I helped design some hockey stick-based sunglasses.
Daddy?
What?
Why are you outside?
Because I'm just talking.
No, outside.
Outside where? I'm what? Okay.
Dobby.
Dobby? No, he's at school.
Oh.
Can I finish?
No, nearly. Can I say one more thing?
Oh, what do you want to say? Go on then.
So...
Before I carry on, what do you want to say?
So... Why don't I have friend shoes?
What?
Running shoes.
Because she does.
Why?
Because she does. You going to go and play your phone?
Not in there. I think it's so boring in there.
Oh, right, we'll come back in here, but keep the sound down. Yeah, it's not Monday though, so she can't be. But yeah, it's so I worked for a company. It was hockey wraparound I worked for. Blade Shades I've done some stuff for. I helped someone get started. A website called Hockey Achievements that has now become We Live Hockey and is becoming really popular for them. And I was never wanted to talk about it because I always felt if people knew I was working for them, that would be the kiss of death. And that would be the end of their company. So I never used to promote the stuff I'd done. And it's the same with this. It's only now I'm starting to really try and push and promote. When I'd done stuff with GameStyle, I was scared of doing that. So yeah, I get that, Wev. I completely get that. John Star, I used to get it thinking I was blagging it and that everyone else in the same role was a lot better. Then I had the realisation that everyone else was blagging it as well, so that seems to have passed for now. Yeah, that's the thing. Is anyone actually sort of like 100% knowledgeable about what they're doing? You know, let's go apart from your surgeons and things like that. You want to think that they are completely specialised, but the rest of us are blagging it to a degree, and it is what it is. And that's something you need to tell yourself a lot if you want to get through a lot of what can hold you back. Also, I didn't used to mind talking on the phone, but I had a couple of jobs on the phone. First doing collections and then loan sales. Since leaving that, I hate talking to anything with a microphone. The majority of the time, especially if someone else could be overhearing. So, I really enjoyed, as a job, customer service work, whether that was working in retail. I worked in an off-licence video shop, a supermarket, and I really, really, really enjoyed that side of face-to-face customer service. And then when I first moved to Liverpool, I needed to get a job, so I started working in a call centre. Now, call centres are horrid places to work. So let's get that out of the way first. But I actually really enjoyed the customer service side of it, the helping people and talking to people. I've got my general chatting voice, and I've got a phone voice. And apparently my phone voice is really, really good. I'm comforting, and I can stop arguments or debates and things like that, or complaints fairly simply when I was doing customer service. So it was good there. But yeah, I struggle when it comes to talking to, like, make an appointment at a doctor's. I struggle with that. It's, why do you want to see the doctor? And my mind goes blank. Like, I don't know why I want to see the doctor. I do know, but I don't know. But I've got to explain it to you, and that really gets me. And I stumble, and I sound like an idiot. So I don't like talking on the phone with those things. But I do like talking on the phone for work. So yeah. Sorry, I missed you there, Crip. Sorry about that. Hello. I get a lot of work. It puts me off applying for new stuff. I actually had an interview on Monday for an internal role very similar to my old one that I could do with my eyes closed, but still worried if I get it, if it will blow up in my face. Yeah. That's the big one. I mean, a lot of graphic design stuff I do, when I did it, I could do it with my eyes closed. Probably not best for graphic design, but I do. Sorry for the noise, but she's watching the phone. You all know the drill by now when it comes to Edith. Yeah, going for roles that you know you can do, I think is just as hard as going for roles that you think you can't do. Because you don't want to come across as arrogant or too all-knowing at the same time. So you play yourself down, and then you wonder if you played yourself down too much, and all kinds of things. Cosmospec, it's the worst thing for the others. Don't do this ever, whatever happened to you. If you love others, don't do this ever. Is this your child? So sweet. Yeah, so it's my daughter, Edith. And yeah, I've got my older son is at school at the moment, and they are better than any medication. They're the reason I can be on medication at times, but they are better than any therapy I've had. My love for them, just wanting them to be as good as they can be. Their personalities get to shine, and they are wonderful to have around. So thank you for saying that. So yeah, these are weird ones, these chats. I'm sure there was something else I said I was going to come back to. That was Steve talking on the phone. I've covered talking on the phone and why I actually enjoy it in certain areas. So one of the other things that always worries me, and why I have this thought of imposter syndrome that comes to me, is what. Do you know the phrase, what you see is what you get? Hi, Searching Her. How are you? Thank you. It's good to know someone's glad to see me. So where was I? Actually, whilst I get my brain back into gear, if you do want to subscribe or anything like that, please please feel free to use your Prime subs or anything like that. It all helps, but it's not needed. So where was I? I've lost myself completely. Oh yeah, so my presentation style, I trip over myself all the time. And what you just saw there, and I hate the term, what you see is what you get, but it is with me. I can't edit myself. I lack filter at times, but I can't edit myself. If I was to try and edit this down into something cohesive, I don't think it'd be possible. And it's the same when I do my 5-minute ramble videos and decided to lead into those like that. I can't record chunks of audio that then come together in a cohesive manner. So there's no point. When you see this, my mannerisms, I'm not going to go like I'm just going to sit at the camera like this and I'm going to stare at the camera like that and just keep positions so that if I do have to edit, it all comes together properly. I can't do that because again I'm moving, I'm all over the chair. I can't not be like that because of the ADHD. So what I learned to do myself, and one of the ways I combat this bout of imposter syndrome when it comes to mental health gaming and being on YouTube and being on Twitch, is if people really want polished and they wanted this really sort of polished, clean cut idea of a video, then that's fine, they're out there. I'm not that, and if people do want something that's just literally is honest and it is what it is, then they will find me eventually. You know, I'm looking back at, is mental health gaming a fraud? Am I a fraud? And I look at that side of it and I'm like, do you know what? No, it's not. It's not a fraud. It's growing in a way I never felt it was going to be. So our birthday, our first anniversary comes up in the middle of October. And when I first started it, I mainly first started as just a small outlet to give me something to focus on. Because my depression had taken hold and everything was, I was on the way out, essentially. And I started as a way just as an outlet. And then it grew and grew and grew. And this is the first stumbling block, I suppose. It's not even a stumbling block, but the first time I've not seen like just constant growth with it. And those of you, Moose Grinder will know this when he was with me at Game Style. I get stressy over myself that why am I failing? Why are we not growing? Why is this not working? Why did we not grow? You know, why did our numbers not grow massively after we had Cole Bosman on the show when we done that side of it? And it's let it take hold, and I know it shouldn't take hold. But this is just the most wonderful thing, and the community that's growing out of it is great. But again, there's still that nagging doubt, just there, that is always going, Brad, why are you doing this? People are going to find you out. They're going to, you know, why are they going to come here when they can get a professional? What have you got that others haven't? You know, why does your opinion count? It doesn't, Brad. Stop doing it. Stop talking. No one cares what you think. And I don't know. It's tough. It really, really is tough. Imposter syndrome is something that's I don't think it's as easy. None of it's easy. I'm trying to get the words right here. When it comes to depression, anxiety, you can look for a cause for that. There might have been a single event trigger that caused it. There may be a series of things going on in your life that causes it. and you can find a way to work around that. Imposter syndrome is a lot tougher because there's no trigger for it. There's no exact moment that triggers it. And that makes it a lot tougher to deal with, I think. And it's one of the things that's always made me struggle. That I don't deserve to be where I am. Both on the positive and negative. I've never done anything where I go, right, I deserve to be financially struggling. You know, I don't, where I hit points where I don't know if I can put food on the table, or in the past that I could make my rent and things like that. I don't deserve to be there. But then I don't deserve anything good is the other part that comes into it. What have I done to deserve anything good happen to me? As I said, I'm one of these people that's got very lucky during COVID-19 and lockdown. I got on universal credit at the right time, and you know, it's helped me out, and I'm realised how poorly I was being paid for other work in the past. And things are are better there, but I also then get this feeling of, well, it's gonna bite me in the arse at some point. If it's going well for me now, then there's going to be comeuppance for me, and I'm going to deserve that comeuppance because I've not deserved what I'm getting now. I don't deserve the positives that are happening to me. So I'm then telling myself that I deserve that. I'm waiting, I'm waiting for something to hit me and knock me back down again, which weighs on you more than probably the actual event of something knocking you down. Does that make sense, by the way? Or is that gibberish? Okay. That's pleasant. Fair enough. Yeah, weird. I'm not sure if that's a joke or trolling or what, or you generally do want to hit me, which if you do, fair enough. But then, yeah, so with other things, I look at other ones. You watch comedians. Yeah, I guess that. I need to make people moderators, really, don't I? I look at comedians and when they talk, and it's actually really weird. You look at a lot of comedians, how insecure they are. They show a confidence, but I don't think it... I'm trying to get this right, sorry. You watch a comedian do a stand-up, and it's their insecurities that make them funny. Because they use those insecurities in such a way that it gives them material. I don't think you'll ever really see a really great comedian, stand-up comedian, who's had an easy life, who's, you know, had nothing sort of go wrong for them. Yeah, how do you kick people from here? There we go, time out. Yeah, weird. Yeah, no, it took me a while because I used to go... Now, don't laugh. Obviously, this is why I couldn't be a comedian, by the way, but don't laugh. I looked at the possibility, could I use my experiences to be a stand-up at some point? And I looked at it, oh, my life's too boring. I've got nothing to talk about that will make me funny. And then I looked at a lot of the comedians and what they was doing and what they were speaking about. And a lot of it actually felt true to me. It was like, yeah, I can actually relate to that. Not in the funny sense, like it is funny, but I could relate to it. You know, I look at someone like Jim Jeffries. I've never had the drugs or alcohol problems, but he talks about, with a lot of it all comes from addiction. Whilst I don't have addiction to drugs, alcohol, or things like that, I do have addictions. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to self-loathing, which is a really weird thing. I don't mind people telling me how bad I am at things, and I get addicted to doing things as well. So when I decided I wanted to collect retro games, I got addicted to that, and I was like all in. I went all in on it. Wasted all kinds of money. And then I got addicted to sort of like collecting like magic cards. I can't even play Magic the Gathering, but I got addicted to doing it because I wanted to get good at it. So addiction has many different ways of showing itself. So it all starts to ring true. And then I realised that I have had the life where I could write material. I'm not funny, so I'm not all of a sudden going to try and become a stand-up. That would end up in tears. But then I realised, well, do they go through what I go through? That self-doubt, do they go out with imposter syndrome, that they believe that's it for them? You know, so they're going to be found out that they're not funny, or they're not good at what they do. And with a comedian, I actually looked at it and go, that's their... Someone decides that they're a fraud or they're not funny. That could well be the end of their career. So that must be weighing on them all the time, and that must be horrid. And that's what I get from doing this, or it's what I get from my writing, from even when I do like playing. But, you know, someone's going to watch at how I play a game and go, well, you're not very good at it. You know, why are you not good at it? So why are you talking about it? You know, you've got to be good at a game to play it, to talk about it, sorry. And it's just, yeah, it all tries to bring me down. But the techniques I've introduced for myself, so there's how many personalities I've got that I actually talk about myself in like the multiple person. But the techniques I've done is to now start taking it each thing one at a time, and build things up. So we'll use mental health gaming. The idea was to do like the odd article here and there, and then I decided I wanted to start writing about games again, and getting reviews. So I started introducing that. Got myself to a point where I knew I couldn't run that just on my own, and started bringing other people in. And I start giving myself these little goals that I know are achievable, and then hopefully grow it and grow it and grow it and grow it. I get to do less writing now, and get to talk more, do more of these things, because I've got a great team behind me, and a couple of you are here now, and just to make that clear, what I'm doing now wouldn't be possible without any of you. I don't know if I'd have the strength to continue doing things like this without those of you who are part of this, that are part of the team. And I owe you guys everything, and love you all. I really do. But I'm setting myself these little goals. And what I can do at times, and what I have done, is I try and almost overstretch myself. And it's good to know there's people there who they won't go, don't do this, but are willing to show that concern enough just to say, look, take a step back, have a think about what you're doing. Are you doing too much? And I may deny that, but internally it does make me rethink about what I'm doing. So I was going to be at a point where I was going to be trying to stream every single day. Absolutely, I need these perfect conditions. I'm going to stream every day, and I was going to get writing done, so content from me most days. Make sure I'm on the Twitter, I'm on the Facebook, and that's all being done, and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. That's just not feasibly possible. So I've got help from others now. I know others can do some writing. I'll try and pass off as many codes as I can for others. I'll do some video stuff. I've got someone who'll do the Facebook side of it for me. And that leaves me then to do some shorter videos, this kind of thing, and run the Twitter. And then the occasional writing when it's the better thing to do. And that is making me feel less like a fraud, because I've got people who I think are a ton more talented than I am, doing things that are hopefully giving them exposure. So yeah, in terms of overcoming imposter syndrome, I don't think you can beat it as such, but what you can do is you can battle it. You can battle it, and you can sort of suppress it a little bit and help yourself push forward, and that's a very much an important thing. But yeah, sorry, that's me. I've been jabbering, and it probably doesn't make much sense. I think I got so used to only having a couple of people watch as I play something that I was thrown by the amount of comments that came in. So thank you for joining. Before I start to wrap up, turn it into a bit of an AMA type thing. If you've got anything you want to say, any questions you want to ask me, anything like that, please drop them in the chat. Okay, if there is nothing, that's absolutely fine. I will start to wrap this up. So today, Fridays is mental health chat. Whether it'll just be to camera or whether I'll start doing some game background stuff again, I don't know. It all depends on what happens that day. Mondays is indie game focus. And there'll be a different indie game played every Monday as we take a quick look at it. And then Wednesdays is more of a long play session. It's going to be a regular series where we play a single game over a number of weeks. Whether we'll complete the game, who knows? But we'll do, whether it's game of the month or we'll do 4 to 6 weeks of a single game before we may even carry it on, or we might move to something else after that. But yeah, that's going to be Wednesdays, and then the odd thing thrown in, and we'll go for that. The odd little thing thrown in at random as well. But thank you for watching. If you do like what you're seeing on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Help us get those numbers up, so I can feel good about myself. If you've got Twitch Prime and you want to use that, then please feel free to donate to the channel. I don't expect anyone to have to pay actual money, of course, unless you want to. And if you did, there's also our Patreon as well, if you fancy that. But thank you for joining me. And yeah, goodbye. That's right, Edith. And I will catch you all next time. Thank you for joining me. Bye bye.